Stargazing from the observatory. Welcome back to The Sleepy Scientist, where gentle curiosity and soft science meet peaceful storytelling. Tonight begins a special journey, one that will carry you across the vast expanse of our solar system. Over the next 25 nights, you'll be gently guided through the history, wonder, and nature of the 8 planets that orbit our star, the Sun. So find a cozy place, wrap yourself in warmth, and let the stillness of night prepare you for sleep. This is your time to slow down, relax, and float gently among the stars. Milky Way. It's just after twilight in a quiet, forested corner of the countryside, and the air is crisp and clear. Perched on a gentle hill stands a round observatory with a dome roof, its telescope already pointed skyward. This is your home for the night, an old wooden structure with soft, humming machines, piles of star charts, and shelves filled with dusty astronomy books. Inside, the air smells faintly of cedar and old paper, a soothing scent that blends beautifully with the cool breeze drifting through a cracked open window. You settle into a large, overstuffed armchair near the telescope. Your soft slippers rest on the wooden floor, and a cozy woolen blanket is tucked around your legs. Outside, the stars begin to appear, first one, then another, and another, until the sky becomes a canvas of light. The Milky Way stretches overhead like a ribbon of powdered sugar, and the moon, a gentle crescent, glows peacefully near the horizon. This is where our story begins, not in the cold vacuum of space, but here on Earth, in a place where wonder grows quietly in the mind and heart. And sitting across from you tonight is our guide, the Sleepy Scientist. She enters quietly, wearing a soft cardigan and wool socks. Her hair is pinned up loosely, and her voice is kind and gentle, barely above a whisper. "Good evening," she says with a smile, handing you a steaming cup of chamomile tea. "Are you ready for a tour of the solar system?" You nod, taking a sip of the tea. It warms you from the inside. "Well then," she says, turning to her telescope, "we'll begin where we are now. We must start from home. From Earth. And from there, we'll journey outward, planet by planet." She adjusts the lens of the telescope and gestures for you to look through. As your eye finds the view, you see the great sweep of stars, millions of points of light, scattered across the inky dark. Before we visit each planet, she continues, it's important to understand what ties them together. One star. One incredible star. The Sun. She walks to the chalkboard and begins sketching a simple diagram, 8 circles, each orbiting a central sphere. The Sun is over 4.6 billion years old. It was born from a collapsing cloud of gas and dust, pulled together by gravity, and ignited by pressure and heat. It burns with a temperature of over 5,500 degrees Celsius on its surface. Its gravity holds all the planets in orbit. She points to the inner circles. Here are the rocky worlds, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. We call them the terrestrial planets. Then to the outer rings. And these are the gas and ice giants, Jupiter and Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. You feel yourself beginning to drift, the sound of her voice as steady and calming as the ticking of the old wall clock. "Each of these worlds has its own story," she whispers. "Some are fiery and dry, others are cloaked in storms and winds that rage for centuries. Some may hold oceans beneath their surfaces. Some may even remind you of Earth." She pauses. "But before we fly to Mercury in the morning," she says, "I want you to close your eyes and imagine something." The telescope hums softly as it moves, tracking the stars. Picture the solar system not as a flat diagram in a book, but as a great celestial dance. Planets sweeping gracefully around the Sun, each moving at its own pace, each with its own rhythm. Time passes differently there. A year on Neptune is 165 Earth years. A day on Venus is longer than its year. She turns off the lights in the observatory now. Only the glow of the stars and a single desk lamp remain. "And now, we sleep," she says softly. Outside, the wind gently rustles the trees. The night is silent except for the quiet ticking of time and the breath of the earth. The sleepy scientist dims the lamp and pours herself a cup of tea. She settles into her own chair, pulling a blanket over her lap. Above you, the stars shine gently. They're not in a rush. They have been there long before us, and they'll remain long after. Tonight, you are part of the story of the cosmos. Just a small, beautiful piece of this great, twinkling puzzle. And as your eyelids grow heavier, and your breath grows slower, the universe spins gently on. Tomorrow, your journey begins with Mercury, the closest planet to the Sun. But tonight, you rest. Mercury, the mysterious messenger. As your breathing slows and your body begins to rest, let your mind drift upward, beyond the clouds, beyond the blue of Earth's atmosphere, into the quiet realm of space. You're floating comfortably aboard a cozy celestial vessel, guided gently through the solar system by a wise and sleepy scientist named Dr. Lyra. With her gentle voice and peaceful pace, she turns your attention toward the first world on our planetary journey, Mercury. Nestled closest to the Sun, Mercury is a small, rocky planet with a history etched into its cratered surface. It spins slowly, so slowly in fact, that one day on Mercury lasts longer than a full Mercury year. Imagine standing on its dusty plain, watching the enormous sun rise slowly over the horizon, so bright and near it takes up a third of the sky. But the warmth doesn't linger. Despite its closeness to the Sun, Mercury has no atmosphere to trap heat. That means one side scorches while the other freezes in shadow. Dr. Lyra floats above the silvery gray surface and invites you to notice the serene silence here. Mercury has no weather, no wind, no sound, just an ancient stillness. The land is pocked with craters, reminders of cosmic events that occurred billions of years ago. One of the most breathtaking features is the Caloris Basin, a crater over 950 miles across, formed by a massive asteroid impact. As you glide past it, your feet barely brushing the regolith below, you begin to imagine what it must have been like in the early days of the solar system, when meteors and comets frequently visited the young planet's surface. Dr. Lyra reminds you that Mercury was once thought to be tidally locked, always showing one face to the Sun, until space probes revealed its slow rotation. She explains how spacecraft like Mariner 10 and Messenger helped unlock Mercury's secrets. The temperature here can swing by more than 1,000 degrees, from a blistering 800 degrees Fahrenheit 427 degrees Celsius in the day to a frigid -290 degrees Fahrenheit -180 degrees Celsius at night. These extremes create a world of contrast, both harsh and strangely peaceful. Despite the dramatic temperatures, Mercury's exosphere, its extremely thin atmosphere, contains atoms from solar wind and surface materials. Sodium, potassium, calcium, tiny whispers of chemistry that hover like ghosts above the surface. Gar. Lyra points out the planet's magnetic field, a surprise discovery, as such a small world wasn't expected to have one. Scientists believe it's because Mercury has a large iron core, making up about 85% of its radius, still partially molten, creating a magnetic dynamo within. She encourages you to notice how quiet this world is, how calm. Without air to carry sound, even the fall of a rock would pass in total silence. The quiet isn't emptiness, it's presence, deep and full, like the pause between heartbeats. And as you float above its horizon, the dark sky sparkles with distant stars. The sun glows so brightly it casts shadows on the ground even in space. But here, far from the hustle of Earth, you feel safe, suspended in time. You gently begin to drift back toward the ship. Mercury slowly disappears behind you, its secrets still echoing in your mind like a lullaby whispered in stardust. As Dr. Lyra tucks you into a cozy observation pod, she says, "Sleep now, little explorer. We've only just begun. 7 more planets await, and each has its own story to tell." Oh, you smile softly as your breathing slows further. Let Mercury's stillness settle within you, and feel yourself floating, weightless and calm, into a deep, peaceful sleep. Venus, the shrouded twin. The dreamscape of Mercury fades gently behind you, as your ship, soft as a whisper, warm as a blanket, sails onward through the velvet silence of space. Wrapped in soft starlight, you are safe, guided still by Dr. Lyra, your ever-gentle companion on this cosmic voyage. As your vessel glides forward, the next world comes into view, a hazy, golden sphere glowing softly in the distance. "Welcome to Venus," Dr. Lyra says with a tender smile. She's Earth's twin, but dressed in clouds, cloaked in mystery. Venus is nearly the same size and shape as Earth, and once upon a time, it may have had oceans and temperate breezes. But something changed. Now, it is a planet of extremes, where the surface is hotter than any other in our solar system, over 860 degrees Fahrenheit 460 degrees Celsius, enough to melt lead. But don't worry. Here in your ship, you're cool and cozy. Venus doesn't show her surface easily. Thick clouds of sulfuric acid swirl in a sky of yellowish white, endlessly whipping around the planet at hurricane speeds. These clouds reflect sunlight, making Venus the brightest object in our night sky after the moon. Dr. Lyra invites you to picture the sight, a planet hidden behind a veil, shining beautifully from afar, but keeping its secrets close. The clouds give way only to radar and space probes. Thanks to missions like Magellan and Venus Express, we now know what lies beneath: endless plains, tall volcanoes, and ancient highlands. The surface is colored in warm hues of burnt orange and crimson, like rusted stone. You float gently above a massive volcano called Mont Mons, taller than Mount Everest. Its slopes are still and quiet, but no one is sure if Venus is completely asleep or merely resting. There may be eruptions still happening, hidden beneath her thick cloak of clouds. Dar. Lyra explains that Venus spins slowly, so slowly that one day here lasts longer than its entire year. But the strangest part? It spins backwards. If you stood on Venus, and could survive the crushing pressure and searing heat, you'd see the sun rise in the west and set in the east. You take in this strange rhythm, this backward dance, and feel a gentle awe. Venus doesn't rush. She doesn't follow the rules. She burns brightly and slowly, hidden in beauty and fierce in her silence. Though the atmosphere is harsh, filled with carbon dioxide and toxic clouds, Venus has taught scientists about greenhouse gases and the delicate balance of Earth's own atmosphere. She is a warning, a teacher, and a reminder of what might have been. In the upper layers of Venus's clouds, where the temperature is milder and the pressure lower, some dreamers imagine floating cities, gently bobbing above the toxic chaos below. A place of exploration, surrounded by golden light. Dr. Lyra's voice wraps around you like a lullaby. Venus is not soft like Earth, not silent like Mercury. She is fire wrapped in silk. A siren planet. And like all powerful stories, she holds both beauty and sorrow. You watch the yellow clouds swirl in slow spirals, as lightning flickers deep within them, glimpses of a stormy soul. Then, gradually, Venus begins to fall away behind your ship. Dr. Lyra dims the cabin lights and tucks a soft blanket around your thoughts. Rest now, she whispers, for tomorrow, we visit Earth, not from below, but from the stars. And with that, you breathe deeply, slowly. The hush of space rocks you like the rhythm of waves, and the golden veil of Venus lingers in your dreams, warm and mysterious. Sleep gently, Voyager. The journey has only just begun. Earth, the living planet. Your cosmic vessel drifts onward from the golden mists of Venus. Through the dark ocean of space, a new sphere begins to glow ahead, familiar, tender, and teeming with color. Dar. Lyra, your gentle guide, smiles softly as she speaks. There she is. Earth. Our only home. The blue jewel of the cosmos. As you approach, Earth spins slowly before you, oceans glimmering in sunlight, swirling clouds stretching like white lace across the sky. The continents bloom with greens and browns, shaped by mountains, rivers, and forests. From up here, it looks peaceful. Whole. Complete. You know her well, Dr. Lyra says, but tonight, let's see her through new eyes. The ship slows to a gentle hover above the Pacific Ocean. From this distance, Earth doesn't speak in words. She hums. The deep, low rhythm of waves, the pulse of weather, the quiet crackle of forest life. It's a lullaby in nature's voice. As your ship floats in orbit, Dr. Lyra guides your vision to a continent lit by dawn. The light creeps over the curved horizon, slowly washing the land in gold. You pass above coral reefs that shimmer like underwater rainbows, over rainforests breathing moisture into the air, and deserts where ancient sand dunes whisper to the wind. And then, snowy mountains. Glaciers. Ice caps gleaming under sunlight like distant stars that touched the earth. This planet, she whispers, is alive. Unlike Mercury's silence or Venus's fury, Earth is gentle but bursting with movement. It spins at just the right speed. Holds its moon just far enough. The atmosphere, a perfect blend of oxygen and nitrogen, cradles life like a mother's embrace. You glide slowly over forests at twilight. Trees swaying. A river winding like silver ribbon. And lights, tiny lights, twinkling in human cities like fireflies in the dark. Earth is the only place, Lyra continues, where we know life exists. From the smallest microbe to the tallest whale. From hummingbirds to human beings. All dancing to rhythms older than memory. She shows you the breathing of the biosphere. Plants absorbing sunlight, exhaling oxygen. Oceans moving with tides pulled by the moon. The carbon cycle, the water cycle, the quiet resilience of ecosystems adapting with grace. Even in sleep, Earth never truly rests. Somewhere, night-blooming flowers open. Owls stir. Bioluminescent creatures light up deep-sea caverns. Fireflies blink in grassy meadows. This planet is not just where we live, she says. It is what we are. And you understand. Every breath. Every drop of water. Every handful of soil. They are made of stardust, cycled through ancient lives. You are connected, to the trees, to the air, to the very heartbeat of this blue world. The ship begins to move again, slowly drifting above the curve of the earth, where sunlight fades into shadow. In the darkness of space, Earth glows softly, as if dreaming. Dr. Lyra dims the light around you and lays a soft cosmic blanket across your thoughts. Rest well, traveler, she whispers. You are stardust and ocean, sky and soil. And tomorrow, we'll visit a neighbor you've never walked upon, our moon. With that, your eyes grow heavy. The view of Earth fades gently behind your eyelids, but its presence hums within you still, a planet of water and wonder, forever turning, forever home. Sleep now. The journey continues. The moon, our silent companion. As the peaceful hum of Earth fades behind you, your cosmic vessel begins a gentle arc toward a familiar silver light. It hangs like a lantern in the sky, softly glowing, quietly watching. The moon. Dr. Lyra, your gentle guide through the stars, places a comforting hand on your shoulder. Our closest companion, she whispers. The moon has circled us since before the first breath of life. Let's drift a little closer. The ship floats silently toward the lunar surface. From here, the moon is not just white or silver, it's textured with shadows and soft, glowing grays. Its face is marked with craters, valleys, and plains once flooded by ancient lava. There is no wind here, no air to carry sound. Just silence, deep, full, and eternal. People used to think the moon was a goddess, Lyra murmurs. Others saw a man or a rabbit in her craters. But now, we know she's so much more. She's Earth's tide puller, our timekeeper, and the guardian of balance. The ship slows as it reaches a high lunar orbit, gliding silently over endless stretches of powdery dust. You look down upon familiar features, the sea of tranquility, the ocean of storms, the bright Tycho crater with its rays stretching like white sunbeams across the gray. She formed from the earth itself, Lyra explains, her voice a gentle echo in the quiet cabin. Long ago, when a Mars-sized body struck the young Earth, the debris slowly gathered into the moon. Since then, she's watched over us, ever present, ever loyal. Outside the window, the landscape is hushed, glowing faintly in starlight. In the distance, Earth hovers in the sky, a brilliant blue marble. The contrast is breathtaking, a world of color floating above a world of stillness. The moon doesn't just pull the tides, Lyra continues. She stabilizes Earth's tilt. Without her, seasons would be wild. Climate, unpredictable. Perhaps even life itself, impossible. As you drift over the lunar surface, you pass the quiet footprint of a human boot, unchanged in the vacuum of time. Not far from it, a small flag and the base of a lander remain, untouched since 1969. It was once humanity's greatest leap, she says softly. But even in all our technology, we could never bring back the silence that lives here. You descend slowly now, hovering above a crater lit by soft light. Shadows pool in the lowlands, while the rims glow as if painted in pale fire. The stars behind you sparkle, unblinking, undisturbed by atmosphere. Dr. Lyra dims the lights. Let your breath match the stillness. No wind. No storms. Just the eternal hush of our moon. The quiet wraps around you like velvet. The hum of the ship fades into the background. The moon, ever watchful, seems to lull the very air around you into sleep. And then, something unexpected. The horizon glows with a faint, rising light. Earthlight. Not as harsh as the sun, but a gentle reflection of your world, casting pale blue across the silver dust. The moon doesn't shine her own light, Lyra whispers. She reflects. A mirror to Earth's radiance. Isn't that beautiful? Even in darkness, she reminds us of home. You gaze at the lunar horizon. So still. So timeless. And suddenly, you understand, this isn't just a moon. It's a memory. A companion. A rhythm etched into the sky. She's always there, Lyra says as your eyes begin to close. Even when you can't see her. The ship drifts onward. The moon falls behind, leaving your heart wrapped in her gentle, constant presence. Sleep now, traveler. Let her cradle you in her silent glow. Tomorrow, we sail toward the red dust of a distant desert. Mars awaits. Mars, the desert of dreams. The stars hum quietly around your ship as you drift away from the soft glow of the moon. Ahead of you lies a red ember in the black velvet sky, small, yet resolute. Mars. Dr. Lyra stands near the observatory window, her voice a lullaby in the silence. Mars has watched us for centuries. Named after the god of war, but in truth, it's a planet of mystery, memory, and quiet longing. The ship glides gently into orbit around the red planet. Mars is breathtaking. It's not just red, it's a tapestry of terracotta, burnt orange, and golden rust. Shadows stretch across massive valleys and faded impact basins. Dunes ripple like frozen waves, and dust twirls softly in thin, unseen breezes. There's no war here, Lyra says. Only stories written in dust and stone. You float to the window. Below, an ancient riverbed winds like a scar across the surface. Now dry, it speaks of water that once flowed, perhaps even oceans. In the west, Olympus Mons towers into the sky, the tallest volcano in the solar system. It's so vast that its base could cover the entire state of New Mexico. And to the east, the dramatic gash of Valles Marineris yawns like a wound through the crust, deeper and longer than Earth's Grand Canyon by far. Imagine, Lyra whispers, rivers rushing, skies tinged pink with sunrise, maybe even life whispering through the soil. Long ago, perhaps Mars breathed. You feel it too, a deep, quiet melancholy. The sense of a planet that once danced with warmth and is now caught in an eternal winter slumber. But in that stillness, there is peace. As the ship descends gently into the thin Martian atmosphere, dust plumes swirl like smoke. You land in a wide plain, dusty, desolate, yet strangely beautiful. The horizon stretches endlessly, a dreamscape of red and gold beneath a soft salmon-colored sky. "Let's explore," Lyra says kindly, her voice more gentle now, like a bedtime story whispering to the stars. You step out into the soft dust. The gravity is lighter than Earth's, each step a slow, graceful bounce. You walk slowly, feeling the ancient silence under your boots. Nearby, rocks shaped by wind and time sit in gentle piles. Tiny whirlwinds dance in the distance. No birds, no rivers, just the soft hush of a world waiting. "There may be ice beneath the surface," Lyra murmurs in your ear. Signs of water. Signs of hope. You climb a small hill, and from its crest, the landscape opens before you, miles of gentle rolling hills, frozen dunes, and distant mountains painted in every hue of red. As the sun begins to set, the sky changes. Mars' sunsets are not fiery gold like Earth's. Instead, the blue creeps in gently, soft and deep, while the land glows with deeper reds and purples. The stars begin to emerge, like old friends returning home. Lyra sits beside you as you lie back on the cool Martian ground. "Mars dreams of life," she says softly. "It may sleep now, but who knows? Someday, our footprints here may awaken its song." The stars above shimmer brighter. Phobos and Deimos, Mars' tiny moons, sail silently overhead like guardian fireflies. The air in your cabin hums gently as your breathing slows. Outside, Mars sleeps in stillness. A planet once alive. A planet not forgotten. A desert of dreams. "Sleep now," Lyra says, as your eyes begin to close. We've touched the memory of Mars. Tomorrow, we fly past the belt of asteroids and enter the kingdom of gas giants. And so, Mars slips into the distance behind you, a red dream wrapped in silence and hope. Jupiter, the giant beneath the clouds. The stars will silently above as your ship sails onward, deeper into the great black sea of space. Mars now glimmers far behind you, just a pale, sleepy ember. Ahead lies something vast. So vast it seems to breathe across the stars themselves. Dr. Lyra stands at the ship's panoramic viewing dome. Her voice, as always, is soft and steady, like wind in a wheat field. "Tonight," she says, "we visit the king of the planets. Jupiter. A world so massive it could swallow over 1,000 Earths and still have room to spare." You watch as Jupiter swells into view, not a planet, but a painting in motion. It rotates rapidly, a swirl of amber, cinnamon, cream, and gold. Its surface is wrapped in stripes, bands of storm systems, dancing and colliding like brushstrokes on an endless canvas. Massive oval storms churn in its belly, including the Great Red Spot, a storm twice as wide as Earth and centuries old. There is no solid ground, Lyra explains as your ship slips into orbit. Jupiter is made of gas, hydrogen and helium, a place without shores, without soil, just clouds and storms. As you drift closer, the cloud tops ripple like milk stirred with honey. Lightning flashes occasionally, bright as a lighthouse across an ocean of cloud. The winds here blow faster than any on Earth, with jet streams rushing at hundreds of miles per hour. But even in this chaos, there's beauty. The stripes flow gracefully, like slow-moving rivers. The Great Red Spot is a soft spiral tonight, colored like rust under moonlight. Lyra dims the lights of the cabin. "Let's visit one of Jupiter's many moons," she whispers. There are over 90 of them. But 4 of them, the Galilean moons, are worlds of their own. You gently fall into orbit around Europa, a moon cloaked in ice. Below its frozen crust may lie a salty ocean, twice the water of Earth's seas. Cracks and ridges stretch across its surface like the lines in an old palm. As you gaze down, you imagine what might swim beneath. Perhaps jellyfish made of light, or slow-floating creatures singing in the dark. Europa listens, Lyra murmurs, beneath its ice. It may dream of warmth. Of sunlight. A lull settles over you. The ship quietly drifts now toward Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system, bigger even than Mercury. Ganymede has its own magnetic field and a frosted surface that sparkles like snow under the distant sun. There's a sense of ancient strength to it, a moon that's been watching the planets dance for billions of years. After that, the ship glides to Io, where volcanoes paint the surface yellow, orange, and red. You see plumes of sulfur shooting into space like flowers blooming in slow motion. Each of Jupiter's moons, Lyra says, is a different dream. And finally, you visit Callisto, pocked with craters and surrounded by a faint glow. It's silent here. Cold. But also calm, like the surface of a frozen pond on a winter's night. Back aboard the ship, you float quietly by the viewing dome as Jupiter spins on. A mighty giant with no land, only air, storms, and soundless thunder. You close your eyes, feeling the deep hum of Jupiter's magnetic field. It's one of the most powerful in the solar system, wrapping the planet in invisible energy. It shields its moons, Lyra says softly. It sings through the stars. Outside, the great red spot continues its slow, graceful dance. You imagine yourself lying in one of Jupiter's clouds, floating like a feather on the wind, weightless, safe, drifting forever in warm amber light. Sleep, traveler, Lyra whispers. Jupiter watches. The storm keeps spinning. The stars keep shining. And your journey continues. Your breathing slows. Your limbs grow soft and still. Jupiter, the giant guardian, fades into the distance as your ship begins its slow journey outward, toward the ringed beauty of Saturn. Saturn, the Lord of the Rings. The hum of the ship is softer tonight, like the whisper of silk through the cosmos. You float gently in the cabin, weightless and wrapped in a deep sense of calm. Outside, darkness stretches endlessly, until something glimmers. Look, Dr. Lyra says with a smile in her voice, Saturn awaits. At first, you see only a golden light, distant and elegant. But as the ship glides forward, Saturn rises like a celestial crown. The planet itself is a glowing orb of butterscotch and honey, striped subtly by high-altitude winds and frozen clouds. But it's what surrounds it that takes your breath away. Saturn's rings, immense, bright, and impossibly thin, stretch out like the arms of a cosmic ballerina. Billions of ice particles, some the size of houses, others mere grains of sand, orbit in perfect harmony. They shimmer and flicker like snow caught in sunlight. Saturn is the solar system's poet, Lyra says, silent, regal, and beautiful beyond reason. You drift closer, and the ship eases into a slow orbit above the planet's equator. The rings lie flat below you, a sprawling, radiant disk that reflects the pale light of a distant sun. Up close, you can see the gaps between the rings, places where Saturn's tiny moons have swept clean paths through the ice. These moons, Lyra says, gesturing to the display, are the ring keepers. Shepherds that guide the ice and sculpt the rings. The ship gently alters course and approaches one such moon, Enceladus. It's small, icy, and glows with a silvery light. But what makes Enceladus special lies at its south pole. There, great plumes of water erupt from beneath the surface, shooting into space like frozen geysers. You're watching a cryovolcano, Lyra whispers. A volcano of water, not fire. These icy eruptions add fresh material to Saturn's E-ring and hint at something miraculous, an ocean beneath Enceladus' icy shell. Warm, liquid, and possibly teeming with the ingredients for life. You close your eyes for a moment and imagine what it would be like beneath the ice, drifting in dark, warm water with glowing creatures for company, while above you, a frozen ceiling shields you from the vacuum of space. Back above the rings, the ship glides like a feather. Below, you see another moon, Titan. This moon is veiled in thick, hazy clouds, the color of old parchment. It's one of the most mysterious places in the solar system. Titan has rivers, lakes, even rain, but not of water. Here, it rains liquid methane, and the lakes glisten with oily blackness. Titan is like a dream of Earth, Lyra says. Cold and strange, but hauntingly familiar. For a while, the ship hovers over Titan's atmosphere, watching cloud patterns swirl slowly across the orange sky. Beneath the haze, rivers wind like ink strokes on canvas, and dunes ripple like the surface of a desert long forgotten. You float in silence, imagining walking across that alien sand, hearing the echo of your footsteps in a place where no human has ever been. Then, the ship begins its turn around Saturn's limb. As you pass behind the planet, the sun dips low, and the rings suddenly go dark, except for a fine halo, backlit like threads of silver fire. It's one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. You can feel the gravity of Saturn tugging at your thoughts, gentle, immense, endless. A reminder that even in sleep, there are forces holding you, comforting you. Dr. Lyra speaks softly as the rings begin to fade in the distance. Saturn is the keeper of secrets, the painter of rings. But now it's time to move on, to the cold edges of the solar system. You feel your breath slow. Your body grows heavier with sleep. The ship hums onward, quietly preparing for its next journey. Beyond Saturn lies the windswept world of Uranus, waiting in quiet indigo. You drift deeper into stillness, letting Saturn's grace linger in your dreams. Uranus, the tilted mystery. As your cosmic journey drifts deeper into the far reaches of the solar system, the space around you seems quieter, colder, and more mysterious. The stars shimmer more faintly, like distant memories, and the hum of the ship becomes a lullaby in the void. Dar. Lyra's voice returns, soft and dreamlike. Tonight, we visit Uranus, the sideways planet, the most enigmatic dancer in our planetary waltz. Outside your window, Uranus rises slowly into view, its pale blue hue glowing softly like a winter moon trapped in twilight. It looks like a marble of frozen mist, smooth, gentle, and perfectly round. But what makes Uranus truly special is not its color, it's its tilt. Unlike all the other planets, Lyra explains, Uranus doesn't spin upright. It rolls through space on its side. You imagine a great ball, turned nearly 98 degrees, spinning like a barrel instead of a top. Seasons here are extreme, each pole bathes in unbroken sunlight for decades, and then plunges into shadow for just as long. Imagine, Lyra says with a chuckle, a summer that lasts 42 years, followed by a winter just as long. The ship slowly descends into orbit. From this angle, the rings of Uranus, faint and narrow, form vertical halos. They are not as flamboyant as Saturn's, but delicate and ghostly, like cosmic lace barely visible in the dark. Scientists believe a great impact may have knocked Uranus sideways long ago, Lyra murmurs. And yet, it kept spinning, quietly, like a sleepy planet dreaming its own strange dreams. You peer closer and notice that Uranus wears a soft, featureless face. Unlike Jupiter or Saturn, it doesn't boast vivid bands or storms. Its atmosphere is calm, or perhaps hiding secrets in its depth. Within its thick clouds of hydrogen, helium, and icy methane, lies a core of cold rock and slush. Temperatures here can drop below -370 degrees Fahrenheit, one of the coldest places in the entire solar system. Yet, even here, in the far-flung deep, Uranus holds its own hidden magic. The ship glides past one of Uranus's many moons. Miranda appears first. Scarred, cracked, and stitched together with massive cliffs and icy ridges. Lyra points to Verona Rupes, the tallest cliff in the solar system. You imagine standing at its edge, looking down nearly 12 miles, twice the height of Mount Everest. Further on, the ship sweeps past Ariel, its frozen surface gleaming like a glacier in the sun. Then Titania and Oberon, ancient and cratered, each turning slowly in the dark. These moons are like old books, Lyra says softly, weathered and worn, but full of stories waiting to be read. As Uranus slowly rotates beneath you, the sun glints off its edges like a slow heartbeat. In its quiet solitude, it seems to whisper a message, that even the most unusual among us can find harmony, purpose, and rhythm. The stars beyond sparkle, and the gentle hum of the engines deepens into a softer tone. You breathe deeply. Your muscles release tension. The cool blue of Uranus surrounds you like a calming bath, rinsing your mind of thought and movement. Lyra's voice grows even gentler now. Sleep comes easy in the orbit of Uranus, in this sideways world, where time flows differently and everything waits patiently to be understood. As the ship begins its slow departure, the blue planet shrinks in the distance, like a pearl vanishing into velvet. Up next, Neptune, the windiest world of all. But tonight, let Uranus hold your thoughts in its slow rotation, its peaceful chill, and its endless summer night. You float into sleep, weightless and dreaming. Neptune, the deep blue voyager. Your ship sails farther now, into the distant edges of the solar system. The stars are crisp and sharp, like diamonds against a velvet sky, and the sun is no longer a blinding light, but a distant, golden flicker. Dr. Lyra's voice returns, soft as ever. Tonight, we arrive at Neptune, the farthest planet from our sun. Mysterious, elegant, and ever so blue. Outside the window, Neptune slowly emerges from the shadows, a brilliant sphere of sapphire and ice. It glows with a deep, rich blue, unlike any other world you've seen. It looks like the essence of a dream, captured in a planet. It's a world of wind and silence, Lyra says. A place where the atmosphere dances to invisible rhythms, and the clouds race faster than sound. Neptune's atmosphere is made of hydrogen, helium, and methane, just like Uranus. But here, something more mysterious is at work. Methane reflects the blue light from the sun, painting the planet in shades of ocean and midnight sky. Winds here, Lyra whispers, are the fastest in the solar system, blowing at over 1,200 miles per hour. Imagine that for a moment. A storm moving faster than sound. Yet, from this faraway orbit, Neptune appears calm, serene, like a sleeping giant wrapped in swirling silk. As the ship circles slowly, Lyra points to a shadow across the southern hemisphere. That's the great dark spot, a colossal storm, nearly the size of Earth, swirling with unseen power. Yet, just beside it, white clouds drift peacefully, like cirrus clouds on Earth, high and whisper thin, trailing across the blue. Neptune's magnetic field is tilted and off-center, wobbling like a top. And deep within, under the swirling blue, is a slushy mantle of water, ammonia, and methane, so pressurized it might form diamond rain. Some scientists believe diamonds form in the storms, Lyra murmurs. Imagine glittering crystals falling like raindrops into a sea of ice. You pause to imagine it. A rain of diamonds. Silence. Cold. Pressure. Beauty. Soon, your ship approaches Neptune's largest moon, Triton. It's unlike any other moon you've seen. Pale and pinkish white, it orbits backwards, against the spin of Neptune. Triton is cold, colder than any known place in the solar system. It has geysers that spew nitrogen into the thin air, creating dark streaks across its smooth surface. There's a stillness here, Lyra says. A silence that holds time itself. And yet, things are still moving, changing, evolving. Even at the edge of the sun's reach, life in the universe dances on. From orbit, you watch a slow sunrise spread across Neptune's curved horizon. The light moves gently, almost reluctantly, stretching shadows over the blue. Lyra's voice lowers, a soft hum beneath your breath. Neptune is a place of peace, a lullaby written in light and wind. The ship begins to turn, leaving the blue giant behind. Neptune grows smaller, fainter, until it's no more than a shimmering dot. But you carry the calm with you. The vastness. The hush. The secret music of winds you cannot hear but somehow feel. And in that stillness, you sleep. Gently. Deeply. Dreaming of blue. Pluto and the dwarf planet realm. The hum of your ship softens to a gentle pulse. You've passed Neptune, and now drift quietly into the twilight of the solar system, where light fades and mystery deepens. Dr. Lyra's voice returns, softer now, as if speaking from the edge of a dream. Beyond Neptune lies a region called the Kuiper Belt, a vast ring of icy worlds, ancient and distant. And tonight, we're visiting Pluto. You float in silence as the ship approaches a tiny speck in the dark. Slowly, Pluto comes into view, a world no larger than Earth's moon, yet alive with beauty and secrets. Pluto isn't blue or red or striped. It is pale gold and rose blush, streaked with subtle browns and soft grays. A world carved by time, frozen in quiet dignity. There it is, Lyra whispers. Once called the ninth planet, now known as the most famous dwarf planet in our solar system. Your ship slows above Pluto's heart-shaped plain. Tombow Regio, named after the astronomer who discovered Pluto in 1930. One half of the heart is smooth and icy, like a skating rink for the gods. The other half is craggy, mountainous, broken. Beneath your feet, Pluto's surface glimmers faintly. It is covered in nitrogen ice, sculpted into patterns by a sky so dim, the sun looks like just another star. Despite the cold and distance, Lyra says, Pluto has a pulse. It breathes. Its surface shifts slowly, reshaped by internal heat, and by time. The ship glides lower, revealing jagged mountains made of water ice, as hard as rock in the freezing cold. Beside them, plains ripple with frozen gases. It looks like a dreamscape drawn in pastel chalk. Pluto has 5 moons. The largest is Charon, nearly half Pluto's size. The two worlds orbit each other like dance partners, locked in a cosmic waltz. You drift toward Charon, where dark canyons stretch across the icy terrain. Its surface is gray, but with a reddish cap at the North Pole. Possibly from Pluto's escaping atmosphere, frozen in place. And there, between these worlds, is the silence. No winds. No sound. Just frozen beauty and the weightless quiet of deep space. The Kuiper Belt holds many dwarf planets, Lyra adds softly. Eris, Haumea, Makemake, each with its own story. They whisper from the edges of the solar system, where starlight grows shy. You pause at the edge of Pluto's horizon, watching shadows stretch long and dark. Behind you, the planets feel far away, like memories of a warmer, brighter world. But out here, in the quietest corners of the cosmos, you feel a different kind of peace. A stillness that calms your thoughts. That softens your breathing. That invites your body to rest. Lyra's voice grows even gentler now. Out here, among the dwarf planets, time slows. Distances stretch. And sleep finds us easily. You lie back, weightless, watching the golden heart of Pluto spin slowly below. The ship hums like a lullaby. The stars hold steady. And in the endless dark, you sleep. The Oort cloud and the edge of the solar system. You awaken in a sea of stars. Your ship, the Eclipse Dreamer, glides silently beyond the orbits of all known planets, far past Pluto and the Kuiper Belt. There is no light here, only faint glimmers on the horizon, and the whisper of time stretching thin. Dr. Lyra's voice returns, like a memory wrapped in moonlight. Tonight, we've left the planets behind. We're now journeying toward the Oort cloud, a distant, invisible halo of icy bodies that surrounds our entire solar system. It is a realm so far from the sun that light takes a day to get here. The ship floats, almost motionless. Outside, space is not black but dark indigo, textured with a billion distant stars. There's no up or down, just stillness. Serenity. Silence. The Oort cloud, Lyra says, is made of ancient comets, frozen relics from the birth of the solar system. They lie dormant here, waiting for gravity to awaken them. You close your eyes for a moment and imagine it. A quiet orb of ice, untouched for billions of years, drifting slowly in the deep dark. Then, a whisper of movement. A nudge from a passing star. And suddenly, its long journey begins, spiraling toward the sun in a glowing arc. That's what comets are, Lyra explains. Visitors from the edge. Messengers from the ancient past. Your ship drifts near one such icy traveler. It's small, misshapen, and glittering softly with frozen gases. Crystals of ammonia and methane shine like stars against its blackened rock. You're now farther from Earth than any human has ever traveled, Lyra says gently. And yet, you are still bound to the sun. Even here, its gravity holds you in its invisible embrace. You turn your gaze to the faint dot of sunlight far behind. It's not a blazing star anymore, it's a mere point. But it's still there. A warm beacon in an ocean of cold. Scientists believe the Oort cloud may stretch halfway to the nearest star. It's so vast, so empty, that the objects here are like grains of sand in a desert 100,000 times wider than Earth's orbit. There may be trillions of icy bodies out here, Lyra whispers. And among them, the stories of how planets began. You imagine that now, a swirl of dust. A spark of gravity. A million collisions. The chaos and beauty of planetary birth, frozen into these tiny worlds that never joined the dance. The ship slows beside a group of icy fragments, floating together like a family of ghosts. Light catches on their jagged edges. They don't shine, but they glow. A quiet, internal shimmer. Like dreams. This is the edge of the solar system, Lyra murmurs. Beyond here lies interstellar space. A realm where our sun's influence fades, and the galaxy begins. Your breath slows. Your body relaxes. You feel small, but never lost. The stars beyond seem older. Wiser. They flicker gently, as if blinking back sleep. And in that moment, with nothing but silence, cold, and ancient ice around you, you understand. The universe is vast. But here, at its edge, you are safe. And deeply, peacefully sleepy. You curl into the chair beside the window, watching starlight drift like snow. The eclipse dreamer hums softly. And in the great quiet of the Oort cloud, you drift into dreams. The interstellar medium, between the stars. The stars feel closer tonight. You're no longer orbiting planets, nor drifting through icy debris. The eclipse dreamer now glides through something more subtle, more mysterious. The vast ocean between the stars. Dr. Lyra's voice is gentle and hushed, as if she, too, is in awe. We've now left the solar system entirely, she says. Welcome to the interstellar medium, a realm so quiet and empty, it's often mistaken for nothing, yet it holds the very threads from which stars are born. The stars outside your window no longer form constellations, you know. They are denser, scattered, ancient. Some glow blue, some gold. Some pulse ever so faintly. They are suns, millions of them, spread across light years of space. Most people imagine space as a vacuum, Lyra continues softly. But here, the interstellar medium holds gas, dust, and the memory of stars long gone. You imagine that now, tiny atoms of hydrogen drifting through infinity. Wisps of carbon and oxygen left behind when a star exploded. They float silently, slowly drawn into denser clouds over millennia. It's in these clouds, Lyra explains, that new stars are born. The ship slowly enters a cloud of glowing dust, barely visible, like a watercolor smudge across the stars. It's known as a nebula, a birthplace of suns. Pink and violet gases swirl together, lit from within by the stirrings of fusion. It is breathtaking, like drifting into the heart of a dream. Nebulae, Lyra says, are the nurseries of the galaxy. And just as your breath rises and falls in sleep, these clouds, too, move. Slowly. Gently. Over millions of years. Outside your window, faint glimmers of light shine where gravity is beginning to sculpt clumps of gas. One day, these will ignite into new stars. Each will bring light, warmth, and the chance for planets. Maybe even life. The ship turns slowly, revealing more of the glowing cloud. A gentle breeze of charged particles brushes against the hull, so faint it's barely real. But Lyra explains. These particles are ancient, some from the Big Bang, others from the death of stars. They whisper across the galaxy, carrying messages from the past. You press your hand to the glass. A sudden hush fills your mind. Not silence, but a vast, calming absence of noise. There's no rush here. No urgency. Just timeless being. You close your eyes and imagine floating in this interstellar cradle, surrounded by ghost light and cosmic lullabies. The atoms in your body, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, they, too, were born in stars. You are made of stardust. And here you are, among your ancestors. The ship gently drifts beyond the nebula now, leaving the faint colors behind. Ahead lies deeper darkness, thicker stars, more mysteries. Between the stars, Lyra whispers, we discover that emptiness is never truly empty. It holds potential. It holds creation. It holds peace. And with those words, your breath softens. Your limbs grow heavy. The stars blur slightly through sleepy eyes. And as you drift, weightless and calm, into this sea between the stars, you feel your thoughts dissolve into night. Your limbs grow heavy. Dancing lights, binary stars and strange systems. The soft hum of the eclipse dreamer echoes gently through your bones as the ship glides silently into a new region of space, one where the stars don't shine alone. Dr. Lyra's voice is calm, comforting. Tonight, she begins, we've entered a part of the galaxy where stars dance in pairs, or even triplets. These are binary star systems, and they are far more common than you might think. Out your window, two suns are locked in a celestial waltz. One is a bright yellow-white, like our own Sunday. The other is smaller, a cool reddish glow, trailing behind it like a loyal companion. They orbit a center of gravity between them, turning endlessly in their cosmic embrace. Nearly half of the stars in our galaxy, Lyra explains softly, are part of multi-star systems. Some spin so close they exchange matter. Others drift farther apart, like silent partners in a slow-motion dance. You imagine the rhythm. The gravitational pull and sway. The way space itself bends around them. As you watch, another binary pair drifts into view. These two are closer, so close, in fact, that one is pulling gas from the other. A steady ribbon of matter flows between them, like silk caught in a breeze. It may seem dramatic, Lyra says with a warm smile in her voice, but this process creates some of the most beautiful phenomena in the universe. Over time, it can lead to novae, brief, stunning explosions of light, and eventually, perhaps, to the birth of a white dwarf, or even a black hole. The ship turns, revealing a rare sight, a trinary system, 3 stars bound in a delicate orbital ballet. Just imagine, Lyra muses, standing on a planet in that system, where the sky is never dark, and 3 suns rise and set in different rhythms. You close your eyes and imagine it. A world of warm light, soft golden sunrise followed by cool orange noon, then a brilliant purple twilight from a distant 3rd star. The landscape sparkles with shadows in 3 directions. Flowers open in spiral patterns. Animals bask in shifts of radiance. Some stars shine in blues so deep they look violet. Others burn red like glowing embers, their surfaces cooler but no less majestic. These stars are not just beautiful, Lyra whispers. They change everything around them, the gravity, the tides, the shape of any planets that dare to orbit nearby. The eclipse dreamer flies past one such planet now, a lonely world caught between two stars. Its oceans glimmer in twin reflections. Its clouds swirl in strange, rhythmic patterns. This place is quiet, strange, and absolutely breathtaking. That it reminds you that the universe is not built in repetition. It is sculpted in variety, in experiments and exceptions. And in these exceptions, new beauty is found. Outside, a pair of stars begins to eclipse one another, casting shifting shadows across a nearby gas cloud. The light bends, splitting into soft rainbows. You are watching, Lyra says softly, the dance of time itself. There's no need to understand every detail. Just to feel it, to allow it to calm you, fill you with awe, and guide you deeper into rest. As the stars twirl gently in your window, your eyelids grow heavier. Their dance continues, silently, perfectly, forever. And in this vast universe of pairing suns and endless rhythms, you find peace, drifting further into dreams. The Saturnian symphony, rings, moons, and mysteries. As the stars glimmer softly outside your window aboard the eclipse dreamer, Dr. Lyra welcomes you with her warm, soothing voice. Tonight, she says gently, we glide through the majestic realm of Saturn, the sixth planet from our sun. It's a world cloaked in golden mist, surrounded by rings of frozen poetry, and cradled by a family of mysterious moons. The ship moves in silence, and Saturn slowly comes into view. It is breathtaking. A soft, creamy orb of gold and bronze, gently turning in space. Its bands of atmosphere curl like brushstrokes on silk. But what takes your breath away are its rings. They stretch outwards like a painter's canvas, huge, delicate, and impossibly thin. From this close, you can see that they're made of countless particles, ice, rock, and dust, some no larger than grains of sand, others as big as houses. They reflect the light of the distant sun in pale tones of white, silver, and lavender. The rings are over 175,000 miles wide, Lyra explains, but only about 30 feet thick. If you were to stand inside them, they'd be almost invisible, but from afar, they are one of the most stunning sights in the solar system. You watch as the ship coasts between the rings, through a clearing known as the Cassini division, a wide, dark gap between bands. The particles here whisper against one another, colliding gently like a breeze through snow. Saturn hums, a deep, slow vibration, almost like music. It's the only planet with such a clearly visible ring system, Lyra says. And no one knows exactly how or when they formed. Perhaps they are the remains of a moon, shattered long ago. Or maybe they are young, only a few 100 million years old, barely a blink in cosmic time. The eclipse dreamer now veers toward Saturn's moons. Each one is unique. First comes Enceladus, a tiny, icy world. As you approach, you see geysers spraying from its south pole. Plumes of water vapor shooting hundreds of miles into space. Lyra tells you these jets hint at a vast, liquid ocean beneath its frozen crust. Enceladus, she whispers, may be one of the best places in the solar system to search for alien life. Then there is Titan, Saturn's largest moon, even bigger than Mercury. Titan is cloaked in a hazy orange atmosphere, thick and mysterious. Beneath its clouds are rivers and lakes, not of water, but liquid methane and ethane. It rains there, like it does on Earth, but with chemicals so cold and strange they would boil or freeze on our planet. And yet, somehow, Titan feels peaceful. Almost Earth-like. You could walk on Titan, Lyra notes, with only a breathing mask and some thermal gear. Its gravity is gentle. Its silence is profound. The ship floats over the surface, over hills, plains, and glistening lakes, like a dream within a dream. Now the moons pass by like memories, Dione, with its icy cliffs. Rhea, pale and cratered. Mimas, with a giant impact crater that makes it look like a sleeping eye. One moon, Iapetus, has a strange mystery, one side is bright as snow, the other dark as coal. No one knows exactly why. Saturn, Lyra says softly, is not just a planet. It is a system, a floating family of stories. Each ring, each moon, a chapter in a cosmic tale billions of years in the making. You gaze one last time at the glowing rings, suspended in space like a ballerina's skirt. They shimmer in silence. There's a sense of peace here, of ancient rhythms, of things both known and unknowable. The eclipsed dreamer turns slowly, drifting toward the dark side of Saturn. The rings catch the last golden light before fading to shadow. As you watch, your breath slows. Your body relaxes. Saturn's music hums through you, soft, deep, eternal. A lullaby from another world. And with it, you drift into sleep. Floating gently in a sea of rings and stars. Uranus, the sideways planet in a sea of silence. As you settle in beneath your blanket and close your eyes, take a deep breath and let your mind drift into the soft darkness of the cosmos. You're floating gently aboard the Dream Voyager, gliding far beyond Saturn's rings. The golden hues of that massive planet are now distant. A serene blue orb lies ahead, wrapped in quiet mystery and veiled in twilight shadows. You have arrived at Uranus, the seventh planet from the Sun and one of the most curious worlds in our solar system. Unlike the planets before it, Uranus spins on its side, like a top that's been knocked over and continues to turn slowly, silently. Your Dream Voyager slows its speed, letting you drift close to the strange and elegant planet. Its pale, icy blue color glows softly against the black velvet of space. The planet's hue is the result of methane in its upper atmosphere, which absorbs the red part of sunlight and reflects blue. Unlike the stormy surfaces of Jupiter or Neptune, Uranus appears deceptively calm. Its cloud layers are subtle, its surface smooth and glassy from a distance. It feels like you are looking at a peaceful marble floating alone in the sea of stars. But inside, there is a quiet storm. Beneath its serene appearance, Uranus holds powerful winds that race through its upper atmosphere at over 500 miles per hour. Lightning crackles unseen in the depths of its ice and gas layers, hidden under an atmosphere made mostly of hydrogen, helium, and icy water. Yet what makes Uranus truly special is not what it's made of, but how it moves. Most planets rotate upright like spinning tops. Uranus, however, is tilted at nearly 98 degrees, essentially rolling around the Sun on its side. Scientists believe that long ago, a massive collision with another celestial body knocked Uranus into this sideways spin. This unique tilt gives rise to the most extreme seasons in the solar system. Each pole gets 42 years of constant sunlight, followed by 42 years of complete darkness. Right now, as you drift nearby, one pole is basking in eternal daylight while the other slumbers in deep, frozen night. You float closer to Uranus's ring system, not as grand as Saturn's but quietly elegant. Its dark rings are faint and hard to see, composed of tiny bits of rock and ice, like whispered secrets in orbit. The Voyager 2 spacecraft was the first to capture them clearly in 1986, unveiling them to the world for the first time. As you observe the rings, you notice tiny shepherd moons, invisible at first but now flickering in and out of view. These small companions gently guide the edges of the rings, their gravitational pull shaping and sculpting the celestial dust like artists with invisible hands. Uranus is home to 27 known moons, each named after characters from the works of Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. You drift past Titania, its largest moon, covered in mysterious fractures and canyons carved over eons. There's Oberon, shadowed and ancient, and Miranda, whose bizarre surface seems like it's been shattered and stitched back together by cosmic forces. Scientists believe that beneath the icy crusts of some Uranian moons, oceans of liquid water may exist, hidden, secret places where life might someday be discovered. In the distance, the soft blue horizon of Uranus glows faintly with auroras. These lights are created not by sunlight but by the planet's twisted magnetic field, which is also tilted and offset from the center. The result is a strange, dancing light show at unexpected locations, like nature's own surreal paintings on an alien canvas. You float silently for a while longer, watching this sideways world spin slowly in the vast dark. Uranus doesn't call attention to itself. It doesn't roar with color or thunder with sound. Instead, it whispers. It invites those who are quiet and patient to truly see. And in that stillness, you begin to feel your own mind quieting. Like Uranus, you've entered a gentle tilt, away from the noise of your day and into the peace of deep night. As the dream voyager slowly arcs away from Uranus, you take one last look at the ice giant, graceful, mysterious, and elegant in its solitude. You leave with questions, with wonder, and with a soft sense of awe. The journey continues, but this pause at Uranus has stilled your spirit. Let the silence of this planet stay with you, wrapping around you like a soft blanket of stars. With your thoughts drifting slowly, gently, you are ready to descend into dreams, sideways, just like Uranus, into the peaceful gravity of sleep. Neptune, the wind-swept giant of deep space. As you drift in the velvety quiet of space, your dream voyager carries you deeper into the dark. Behind you lies Uranus, still spinning on its side like a dream. Ahead, something stirs beyond the reaches of most light and warmth, a brilliant blue beacon in the cosmic night. This is Neptune, the eighth and most distant planet from the Sun, named after the Roman god of the sea. Neptune is a world of swirling winds and ghostly storms, a planet that sings with the poetry of the deep. As you approach, the planet glows a rich azure, a deep, royal blue far more vivid than Uranus. This intense hue comes from a complex mix of gases, primarily hydrogen, helium, and traces of methane. It gives Neptune an almost magical appearance, like a jewel suspended in the black canvas of the cosmos. Despite its incredible distance, nearly 2.8 billion miles from the Sun, Neptune is far from quiet. This frozen giant is home to the fastest winds in the solar system, whipping through its atmosphere at speeds up to 1,200 miles per hour. These powerful gusts race around the planet, stirring up its layers like sea currents in a churning ocean. Your dream voyager moves closer to the cloud tops, where icy methane forms feathery white clouds high in the atmosphere. They streak across the sky like waves cresting in slow motion. Neptune's atmosphere is layered with storms, the most famous of which was the Great Dark Spot, first observed by Voyager 2 in 1989. This colossal storm was large enough to fit Earth inside and rotated counterclockwise like a massive hurricane. Though the Great Dark Spot has since disappeared, others have appeared, reminders that Neptune is ever-changing, even from its lonely outpost at the edge of the solar system. The temperature here is frigid, averaging about -370 degrees Fahrenheit. And yet, the planet is vibrant with activity. It's as if, rather than needing heat, Neptune dances to its own rhythm, a cosmic symphony of wind, pressure, and time. Orbiting Neptune are 14 known moons, the largest and most famous being Triton. You float near this icy moon, watching as geysers erupt from its frozen crust. Triton is one of the few moons in the solar system with active cryovolcanism, volcanoes that spew icy slush instead of molten rock. Triton also orbits Neptune backwards, against the direction of the planet's rotation. This retrograde motion is a strong hint that Triton may once have been a dwarf planet or object from the Kuiper belt, captured by Neptune's gravity long ago. Its surface is a pale pinkish white, covered in frozen nitrogen and mysterious ridges like scars left by ancient dreams. As your Voyager floats above Triton, you notice the thin haze of a nitrogen atmosphere hugging its surface. Despite the extreme cold, despite the distance from the Sun, there is a quiet sense of motion here. Of slow, patient change shaped by time itself. Surrounding Neptune is a faint system of dark rings. Unlike Saturn's bright bands, Neptune's rings are dusty, delicate, and laced with mysterious clumps. Some of these clumps are shaped and held in place by tiny shepherd moons like Galatea. It's as though Neptune has its own secret choreography, rings and moons twirling in a quiet cosmic ballet. You float gently back toward Neptune's soft, stormy face. The planet's magnetic field is strange and tilted, like a spinning compass caught in a dream. Its magnetosphere sweeps and shifts, creating auroras far from the poles, ghostly lights dancing across its sky in silence. Neptune takes 165 Earth years to complete one trip around the Sun. Since its discovery in 1846, it still hasn't made one full orbit. And yet, even from this distance, it exerts its influence on the solar system, its gravity pulling on passing objects and shaping the outer boundaries of our cosmic home. You sit in the quiet shadow of Neptune, wrapped in the deep blue of its swirling clouds. The winds no longer howl, but instead sound like a lullaby, a hush that echoes across billions of miles. There is something humbling about being here, something soothing. You are far from Earth, yet closer than ever to the mystery and beauty of the universe. As your dream voyager turns slowly away from Neptune, the light from the distant sun becomes a soft flicker. You are at the edge of what we call the solar system. Beyond this lies the Kuiper belt, the Oort cloud, and a sea of stars. But tonight, you rest here. In the hush of Neptune's winds. In the glow of Triton's geysers. In the memory of a storm that once covered a planet. You carry all of it with you, into your breath, your stillness, your sleep. Let yourself drift now. Let Neptune sing you into dreams. Pluto and the Kuiper belt, whispers at the edge of the sun. The engines of your dream voyager hum gently, barely louder than a sigh. You've traveled far, past Mars and Jupiter, past the rings of Saturn, the tilt of Uranus, and the blue winds of Neptune. Now, you cross a boundary, a subtle frontier where the sun's light grows dim and space feels quieter, colder. This is the Kuiper belt, a vast ring of icy bodies orbiting far beyond Neptune, stretching over 1 billion miles wide. Here, the remnants of the early solar system still drift, like scattered memories. Comets, dwarf planets, and frozen worlds tumble slowly through the dark, untouched by time. Floating toward you now, small but determined in its orbit, is Pluto, once the 9th planet, now a proud dwarf planet, holding a special place in the hearts of dreamers everywhere. You approach Pluto in the silence of starlight. It is smaller than Earth's moon, but it holds a grandeur all its own. Its surface is a patchwork of gentle whites, pale yellows, and rich reds, created by frozen methane, nitrogen, and carbon monoxide. A great heart-shaped region called Tambo Regio stretches across one hemisphere, as if Pluto is trying to tell us something in the only way it knows how. As you descend, you pass towering ice mountains, some rising higher than the Rockies, made not of rock, but of water frozen harder than steel. There are plains of nitrogen ice that ripple like dunes, and craters that reveal a surface still changing, still alive. You float above the left lobe of Pluto's heart, known as Sputnik Planitia, a smooth, frozen basin thought to have been shaped by a massive ancient impact. Over time, it has become a gathering place for nitrogen ice, a place where winds sculpt the frost and sunlight carves delicate ridges. Even here, at the solar system's edge, the sun's gentle pull still shapes the land. Pluto has 5 known moons, and the largest, Charon, orbits so closely and is so large relative to Pluto that the two actually orbit a point between them, a dance of equals. You watch them twirl through the sky together, forever locked in a silent ballet. On Charon's dark surface, you see strange canyons and ridges, deep scars left by a long-ago past. And on its northern hemisphere, a reddish cap, nicknamed Mordor Macula, adds a touch of cosmic mystery. The air here is so thin it's barely there, made mostly of nitrogen with hints of methane and carbon monoxide. But as Pluto moves through its long 248-year orbit, its atmosphere expands and contracts, freezing to the ground during parts of its journey and lifting into a ghostly haze during others. In that haze, light scatters and creates a soft blue glow, Pluto's own twilight. As you float above the surface, you are filled with a sense of quiet resilience. Pluto may be small, but it is strong. Once dismissed as an icy oddball, it has revealed itself to be a world of wonders. Mountains. Glaciers. A sky. A heart. Beyond Pluto, the Kuiper belt stretches even farther, home to dwarf planets like Eris, Haumea, and Makemake, each with their own stories, their own frozen mysteries. But tonight, you remain near Pluto, wrapped in the comfort of its cold light. You turn your gaze toward the stars now, thinking of how far you've come. You've traveled across nearly 4 billion miles, past clouds of gas, rings of dust, and icy winds. And yet, out here on the edge, there is a peace that feels eternal. Your dream voyager slows. Pluto begins to drift away in the rearview of your mind. But you carry it with you, the image of a heart on an icy world, the whisper of methane frost, the dance of distant moons. It's time to rest now. To drift in the dark and let the cold silence of the Kuiper belt lull you into the deepest sleep. Breathe in. Breathe out. The universe is still singing. And you are part of its lullaby. The Oort cloud, the solar system's sleepy edge. Far beyond the familiar dance of planets, beyond Pluto's icy heart and the drifting bodies of the Kuiper belt, lies a distant shell of frozen secrets. The Oort cloud, named after Dutch astronomer Jan Oort, is not a place we have seen with our eyes, but one we believe exists, enveloping our entire solar system in a vast sphere of icy bodies. You are now aboard your dream voyager, carried by the soft winds of cosmic imagination. You glide quietly into the great black stillness, where the sun becomes just another star among millions, its glow faint, like a lantern in a faraway village. Here, time moves differently. The nearest object might be millions of miles away, and yet space feels full. Not full of things, but full of potential. Possibility. Peace. You are floating in a place where stars are born and solar systems begin and end. The Oort cloud is thought to contain trillions of icy bodies. Fragments of the early solar system, tossed here by the gravitational pull of Jupiter and Saturn long ago. They've drifted ever since, orbiting the sun in immense, slow ellipses, taking millions of years to complete a single lap. Some of these objects will remain out here forever, frozen and untouched. But others, every now and then, will be nudged by a passing star or galactic tide, breaking their deep sleep. They begin their long fall toward the inner solar system, melting and glowing as they become comets, bringing whispers of the outer reaches with them. You imagine drifting near one such ancient object, a small icy rock with a surface blackened by countless eons. It hasn't moved in millions of years, and yet it holds the same elements that built planets and oceans and even life itself. You float silently, watching this cosmic sleeper rest in stillness. Around it, stars glimmer like pinpricks in velvet. You recognize none of the constellations. They've shifted and changed in this far-off view, warped by distance and light years. Yet there's comfort in their unfamiliarity. You are cradled by mystery, and that, too, is a kind of peace. There is no sound here, only the echo of your thoughts and the rhythm of your breath. No wind, no warmth, but also no chaos. Just the elegant hush of a universe at rest. You think of the solar system as you've now seen it, 8 planets, each with their own wonders, surrounded by moons, rings, storms, and light. All that complexity, and here, just outside it all, is simplicity, cold, dark, and serene. Scientists believe that the Oort cloud marks the edge of the sun's gravitational reach. Beyond this, we step into true interstellar space, where other stars and other systems begin. But tonight, we remain just on the edge, in the twilight between the known and the unknown. As your dream voyager floats gently in the vast silence, a soft light begins to glimmer on the horizon of space. It's not the sun, but cosmic rays, gentle particles traveling for billions of years from exploding stars and galaxies far away. They sparkle faintly as they pass you by, like fireflies flickering in the night. You realize that, even here, there is motion. Even in the stillest places, the universe is always breathing. Always becoming. You take a deep breath and exhale slowly. The air in your dream pod is warm, safe, and filled with quiet purpose. As you look out once more at the endless sky, you feel the tug of sleep at the edge of your mind. This final frontier has wrapped you in its arms, and it is time to rest. Let your thoughts drift as slowly as the comets. Let your body soften like snow. You are surrounded by the most ancient silence of all. And in it, you are home. The sun, the beating heart of the solar system. In every moment of every day, no matter where you are on Earth, the sun is there, sometimes shining directly on your skin, other times just beyond the horizon, its light painting the sky with color. But have you ever truly imagined what the sun is? Tonight, let's float slowly and safely toward that glowing sphere of brilliance. Not in haste, not in fear, but with gentle curiosity. From the far reaches of the Oort cloud, your dream voyager turns and drifts inward once again, drawn by a familiar warmth that reaches across billions of miles. The sun. So much more than just a light in the sky. It is a star, yes, but not just any star. It is our star, and it has been watching over us for 4.6 billion years. As you move closer, you begin to feel, not just heat, but rhythm. A pulse. The sun is not static. It moves, it hums, it dances. You recall that it is made mostly of hydrogen and helium, the lightest elements in the universe. Deep in its core, a powerful process takes place, nuclear fusion. Here, under immense pressure and unimaginable heat, hydrogen atoms are fused into helium, releasing vast amounts of energy. That energy rises slowly through layers of plasma. From core to surface, the journey of a single photon of light can take thousands, even millions of years. But once it escapes the surface, it takes just 8 minutes to reach Earth. The light that falls softly on your hand during a sunny morning? That light began its journey before you were born. The surface of the sun, the photosphere, shimmers with golden ripples. Sunspots, darker and cooler than their surroundings, drift and shift. Loops of plasma, called solar prominences, arc high into space, elegant and silent in their slow motion. As your dream voyager floats just far enough to remain safe, you watch these waves of activity unfold like a slow-motion ballet. Beyond the photosphere lies the corona, the sun's mysterious outer atmosphere. Though thinner, it's actually hotter than the surface. Why? That's a question scientists still explore. The corona stretches millions of miles into space, and during a solar eclipse, it glows like a delicate white halo. Sometimes, the sun releases sudden bursts of energy, solar flares and coronal mass ejections, casting waves of particles through the solar system. These flares can paint our night skies with auroras, dancing green and violet light near the poles, as Earth's magnetic field catches the sun's gift and turns it into art. You imagine now that you are floating in the light of one of those gentle flares, letting it pass through you like warmth through a windowpane. It doesn't burn. It calms. You are bathed in the glow of creation. The sun's gravity is what holds all the planets, moons, asteroids, and comets in place. It is the center of our solar system, not just in location but in energy and balance. It powers winds, drives ocean currents, and feeds plants that gift us with oxygen. In this dreamlike state, you think of your own breath. In and out. The sun breathes too, in its own way. Cycles of sunspots every 11 years. Rhythms of light and shadow. Bursts of energy and long periods of quiet. The more we learn about the sun, the more we understand how connected we are to it. Not just physically, but emotionally. Spiritually, the ancient people who worshipped the sun weren't far off. It is a giver of life, of time, of light. Even now, drifting peacefully near this massive ball of golden fire, you don't feel afraid. You feel awe. Gratitude. Because without the sun, there would be no earth. No oceans. No forests. No music. No dreams. And so, as you close your eyes aboard the Dream Voyager, you whisper a thank you to this ancient star. The heart of it all. The oldest and warmest friend we know. Let its golden glow wrap you like a blanket. Let its steady rhythm lull you to sleep. Let the memory of light follow you into your dreams. Moons, the many companions of the solar system. As we drift gently away from the radiant glow of the sun, our Dream Voyager begins a new kind of journey, no longer focused only on planets, but on their quiet, loyal companions, the moons. Our solar system is home to more than 200 moons, and each one tells a different story. Some are large and brilliant, others tiny and misshapen like forgotten pebbles in space. Some are covered in craters, others with ice or mysterious plumes of vapor. All of them, silent travelers, follow their planets on an endless journey around the sun. Tonight, we'll visit a few of the most wondrous ones. Let's begin with the one we know best, Earth's moon. It rises softly in our skies, pulling at the oceans, shaping tides, guiding sleep and song and myth. From the surface of Earth, it looks gentle and silvery. But up close, it is a world of highlands and deep craters. The footprints of humans remain, preserved in the stillness of its airless plains. It has no weather, no rain to wash them away. As your Dream Voyager floats around the moon, you see the far side, the side no one ever sees from Earth. It is rougher, more cratered. A reminder of ancient impacts, of time measured not by clocks, but by collisions. Next, we glide outward to Jupiter, the largest planet, and home to 92 known moons. Among them, one stands out like a living jewel, Europa. Europa is covered in a shell of smooth ice, crisscrossed by cracks and ridges. But beneath that frozen crust? A vast ocean, warmed by tidal forces deep inside the moon. Scientists believe this ocean could be one of the most promising places to search for life beyond Earth. As you float above Europa, you imagine the slow, icy tides moving beneath your feet. Could something be swimming down there, beneath the ice? Something ancient? Something gentle? Next stop is Saturn, surrounded by its breathtaking rings, and more than 140 moons. One moon, Titan, glows softly in the distance. Titan is unique. It has a thick orange atmosphere, rich in nitrogen. Lakes and rivers exist on its surface, but not made of water. Here, liquid methane and ethane flow in slow motion, carving landscapes much like Earth's. You drift down over a hazy shoreline, watching golden clouds roll lazily across the sky. It feels alien and familiar at once. Somewhere in Titan's deep, cold interior, scientists believe a hidden salty ocean might be waiting, warmed from below. Another moon of Saturn, Enceladus, is smaller but no less fascinating. Its icy surface is smooth and bright, like a frozen pearl. Near its south pole, enormous geysers shoot out plumes of water vapor, ice, and organic molecules. As you float through one of these graceful jets, it feels like drifting through the mist of a distant waterfall. We glide now to Neptune, to meet Triton, a moon that orbits backward, against the direction of Neptune's spin. It is one of the coldest places in the solar system, but its surface is dotted with icy volcanoes. Frozen nitrogen and methane sculpt eerie plains. You drift over its mysterious terrain, listening to the silence that fills its ancient craters. And finally, we move to a tiny, lonely world, Charon, the moon of Pluto. It's nearly half the size of Pluto itself, and together they spin around a shared center, like dancers in deep space. On Charon, you see cliffs taller than any on Earth. The silence is vast. The stars shine brighter out here. There is no atmosphere, no sound, just stillness. Each moon, a chapter. Each orbit, a rhythm. Some formed with their planets. Others were captured, pulled into orbit by gravity's quiet hand. Some are made of rock, some of ice. A few hide oceans. A few may even hide life. In the end, these moons are like lanterns, following their planets like glowing companions through the dark. Each one a glowing possibility. A place of dreams. A whisper of something more. And as you drift once more across the black velvet sky, you feel the pull of your own moon. The one that waits for you back home. It calls you gently, like a lullaby. You smile, exhale slowly, and let sleep take hold. The quiet spaces, asteroids, dwarf planets and cosmic debris. Tonight, your dream voyager glides away from the grand orbits of the planets and their moons, toward a less traveled path, a realm not defined by majesty or size, but by quiet mystery. This is the region of asteroids, dwarf planets, and the dust and debris that fill the gaps in our solar system like golden sand between stones. Between Mars and Jupiter lies a region astronomers call the asteroid belt. Here, millions of rocky fragments float silently through space. These are the leftovers of creation, building blocks that never formed into a planet. They drift like forgotten thoughts, ancient and untouched. Your dream voyager drifts through them slowly. Contrary to movie depictions, they are not densely packed. There's space, immense space, between each. You float beside Ceres, the largest object in the asteroid belt, now considered a dwarf planet. Ceres is nearly spherical, its gray surface marked by bright salt deposits that sparkle like distant stars. Scientists believe it may have once harbored an underground ocean. You imagine that deep beneath its surface, ancient water still lingers in frozen silence. Drifting onward, your path curves toward Vesta, another large body in the asteroid belt. Its rugged surface gleams under distant sunlight. Its peaks and scars tell tales of ancient collisions, of impacts so vast they reshaped the rock itself. You gently orbit above a massive crater, listening to the hum of stillness, like the echo of a distant memory. As your journey continues, you leave the asteroid belt behind and venture outward into the realm of the dwarf planets, small, lonely worlds that share the sun but follow their own paths. They don't dominate their orbits like the 8 major planets. Instead, they move among the stars like wandering philosophers, observing, orbiting, alone but never lost. You revisit Pluto, once the 9th planet, now a revered symbol of humility and wonder. Its heart-shaped glacier, Tombo Regio, glows softly beneath you, a message written in ice. You remember how the New Horizons spacecraft flew past in 2015, revealing canyons and mountains of frozen water, and plains of nitrogen ice. Pluto, so distant, still feels alive. Not far from Pluto is Haumea, an oddly shaped dwarf planet that spins so rapidly it stretched into an elongated shape. It's surrounded by a faint ring and tiny moons. Its surface glimmers with crystalline ice, like starlight caught in motion. Farther still is Makemake, another icy dwarf world, cloaked in methane frost. It reflects sunlight like a distant mirror. You wonder what secrets it keeps in the long, cold nights that last for centuries. And then, beyond even that, you drift toward Eris, one of the most massive known dwarf planets, more massive than Pluto. It's colder, darker, and more distant. Yet it, too, orbits faithfully. You imagine its surface, hard, ancient, reflective. Another heartbeat in the quiet rhythm of the solar system. Among all these, there are also comets, icy visitors from the Oort cloud and Kuiper belt. Occasionally, they dive toward the sun, their icy bodies shedding tails of glowing dust. These tails stretch for millions of miles, like the whispers of ghosts dancing in solar wind. Your dream voyager glides alongside a small, dark object, an asteroid no larger than a house. It floats quietly. Its path is uncertain, like a wandering thought in the universe. You realize even this quiet, tumbling rock, has a place. It belongs. It travels the same star. In the stillness of these empty regions, you find peace. These are not barren wastes. They are the soft pauses between verses, the silence between heartbeats. And in this vast, delicate balance, you see the artistry of nature, not just in the grand planets or brilliant moons, but in every drifting stone. As you close your eyes tonight, know this. Even the smallest worlds shine when touched by starlight. Even the most forgotten spaces are part of the story. And you, gentle traveler, are part of that story too. Beyond the boundary, entering interstellar space. Tonight, your dream voyager gently drifts beyond the grasp of our sun's breath. Past the rocky worlds and the gas giants, beyond the icy realm of dwarf planets and wandering comets, you now approach the outermost edge of our solar system, the heliopause, where the sun's influence ends and interstellar space begins. A soft landing, returning home through the cosmos. The stars stretch endlessly in all directions, an infinite ocean of quiet light. Your dream voyager, after tracing the magnificent path from the sun to interstellar space, begins its gentle journey home. As you float, weightless and calm, memories of each planet drift by like fireflies in the dark. First, Mercury, the scorched, silent sentinel closest to the sun, where day and night stretch into extremes, and where shadows hold ancient secrets. Then Venus, blanketed in clouds of gold and fire, mysterious and veiled, spinning backwards in time. Earth follows, our precious blue haven, where oceans sing, forests breathe, and human hearts pulse with questions and dreams. Here, you first looked up in wonder and learned the names of the stars. Mars flickers in your mind, red, rugged, whispering tales of water long gone and of the hope that we may return and call it home one day. The gas giants rise in memory. Jupiter, with its swirling storms and endless moons, Saturn, encircled by its rings of ice and dust, elegant and quiet. Uranus glides by on its side, a world of turquoise chill and slow, deep seasons. Then Neptune, the farthest major planet, where sapphire winds sing through dark clouds, and where mystery lives in every icy gust. You smile as the dwarf planets follow, tiny but mighty, Pluto, Eris, Haumea, Make, icy wanderers on the solar system's edge, each carrying stories in frozen silence. Your journey touched them all. You've moved through magnetospheres and atmospheres, rings and shadows, moons and miracles. Now, with the cosmic wind behind you, you gently coast back toward the warmth of home. Earth appears again, not as a destination, but as a return to something familiar. A memory rekindled. As you re-enter Earth's space, you hear the gentle hum of its magnetosphere wrapping around you like a protective blanket. The pull of gravity greets you, firm and kind. Your dream voyager becomes softer now, slowing, sinking gently through layers of cloud and sky. Below, city lights twinkle like constellations flipped upside down. Oceans shimmer. Mountains sleep. And as you return to the quiet comfort of your bed, your pillow cradling your head like the curve of a moonlit crater, you remember something important. All of it, the light, the gravity, the stars, the silence, exists because we asked. We wondered. We imagined. In our stories and our science, we reached for something more. And as you close your eyes, breathing deeply, peacefully, you are reminded of the truth hidden in every atom. You are a part of this universe. And the universe is part of you. Rest now, sleepy traveler. The stars will keep watch tonight. Milky Way. Cosmic echoes, how space shapes life on Earth. As you float gently above Earth, your dream voyager drifting silently through the upper layers of atmosphere, a subtle question rises from the hush of the cosmos. How has all this, planets, stars, gravity, and time, shaped the life that now dreams beneath Earth's sky? You gaze at the blue-green sphere turning slowly beneath you, and answers arrive not in words, but in quiet scenes of science, life, and ancient memory. The moon, Earth's faithful companion, calls first. Without it, Earth's axis might sway wildly, seasons would falter, and tides would never ebb and flow. The moon's rhythm, that gentle lunar pull, has guided coral spawning, bird migrations, and human calendars for millennia. Then your mind drifts to Mars, where dust storms rage and dry valleys hint at ancient rivers. Long ago, cosmic debris from Martian impacts may have delivered building blocks of life to Earth. Tiny passengers aboard meteorites, whispering that we are not just of Earth, but of the solar system itself. The sun, our blazing star, pours light across land and ocean. That light sparked photosynthesis, fed forests, and fueled the evolution of complex life. Its gravity anchored every orbit. Its flares and solar wind, even when turbulent, have always danced with our magnetosphere, shaping the auroras and shielding Earth's precious atmosphere. You realize, the sun isn't just above us, it's within us, too. Every atom of calcium in your bones, every molecule of oxygen in your lungs, was forged in stars before our solar system was born. As you continue your journey, thoughts turn to the gas giants, Jupiter and Saturn. Long ago, their immense gravity may have swept up rogue asteroids, shielding Earth from extinction and giving evolution the time to bloom. Without their quiet protection, the age of dinosaurs, and the rise of humans, may never have arrived. Even the icy outer worlds, Uranus and Neptune, whisper their influence. Their distant gravity pulls on comets from the edge of the solar system. Some of those comets, when they streaked toward the sun, brought water, organics, and stardust to Earth, each a tiny spark in the long chain of life's beginning. And then, Earth herself. Her molten core churns, creating a magnetic field that shields her surface from cosmic radiation. Her plate tectonics recycle carbon and nutrients, creating mountains and oceans. Her tilt and spin keep temperatures moderate, days balanced, and climates rich with variety. This balance, of heat and cold, light and shadow, silence and song, made life possible. And it continues, even now, while you rest. You feel your Voyager lower through the clouds. The stars fade gently into the glow of dawn. A forest comes into view. Lakes gleam like mirrors. A sleepy town turns in its bed. And somewhere, a child gazes at the morning sky, already wondering what lies beyond the clouds. Because this universe, in all its grandeur, has taught us to dream. To seek. To listen. And in those dreams, you see it clearly now. We are not alone in the universe. Because the universe lives within us. You breathe deeply. The earth holds you again. And sleep welcomes you back. Stardust dreams, a farewell to the cosmic journey. The dream Voyager slows, its glassy sails folding as it returns to orbit above Earth. Below, the planet glows with the blue brilliance of oceans, the green of forests, and the soft golden twinkle of distant city lights. You've traveled far, across planets, moons, rings of ice, and rivers of gas. From Mercury's scorched stone to Neptune's sapphire storms, from Mars' ancient valleys to Saturn's golden crowns. Now, in this quiet hour of night, the journey draws to a close. But endings, you realize, are also beginnings. You recall the whispers of the planets, lessons carved in gravity, magnetism, and time. You remember how Earth's orbit and tilt gave rhythm to life. How Jupiter's giant gravity protected our fragile beginnings. How Venus reminded us of what can happen when balance is lost. How every world, even the coldest and most distant, played its part in the story of us. Above all, you remember the sun, our star, our origin. Its light is older than any book, any dream, any song. It was there when the first molecules stirred in Earth's ancient seas, and it will be there long after our great-great-grandchildren look up in wonder, just as we do now. Your dream Voyager gently drifts to its resting place among the stars. The stars themselves, countless, burning with quiet majesty, surround you like an infinite lullaby. Each one holds its own system of planets, of moons, of secrets waiting to be known. And you understand, in this final, peaceful moment. The universe is not distant. It is not other. We are made of it. We belong to it. The iron in your blood was forged in a dying star. The water you drink was delivered by comets. The air you breathe carries carbon atoms recycled through dinosaurs, trees, and time. You are not just on Earth, you are of Earth. And of the cosmos. You close your eyes. Somewhere down below, someone looks up at the same night sky and wonders. Somewhere across the globe, a child traces the moon with their finger. Somewhere in the silence between dreams, the stars wait patiently, glowing softly, promising more stories for those who listen. And here, as you rest, those stories settle around you like stardust. They whisper that even when you sleep, the universe keeps moving. The planets continue to dance. The sunlight continues to travel. And the great song of the cosmos goes on, calm, unhurried, and eternal. So now, dear traveler of the stars, let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts drift like moons through still night skies. Let your heart settle into the gravity of peace. You've journeyed far. You've learned. You've dreamed. And now, the stars keep watch as you drift into the deepest, most restful sleep of all.